right, so I'm privileged to be here with John O'Brien, who, along with his daughter Molly, was a pivotal part of this Mending Lines 3 project. So, John, how you doing, and where are you at right now?
Well, Aaron, doing pretty good. I mean, it's been how many years? It's been 3 years? 4 years?
At least.
Yeah,
I think closer to 4.
Yeah, man, a lot of water has gone under the bridge, but it's been good. We're still in Moscow. Molly's living in Moscow too. She's not here, obviously. Our relationship's still pretty good. It's different than it was, but it's still good. So yeah, things are going well.
It's fun to be able to have somebody that actually was on the trip and then to meet with them 4 years later. I'm curious, even as you reflect back on that time, the good, the bad, everything in between, if you just like somebody says, John, how was being out there with your daughter? What do you tell them today?
That trip was a pivotal point in our relationship. It brought to head a lot of things that we needed to talk about. Like we mentioned in the video, I think Molly went through a pretty rough first year in college, and our relationship was really shattered. And to have this opportunity to spend that time out in the wilderness with her was pivotal and phenomenal. It changed our relationship tremendously. It changed her too, in the sense that she really loves the fish now. It was just really great. The fishing was good, the fellowship was good, the time with my daughter was amazing, and the drive over, it's about a 3-hour drive over and a 3-hour drive back. The drive over was not uncomfortable, but not as good as I thought it was going to be. The drive back was amazing. I mean, we talked for 3 hours just about fishing and about what we talked about on camera and what we discovered about each other off camera too. So it was a pretty amazing trip.
Yeah, man. I mean, obviously we just watched the episode, and seeing that image of you and your daughter on the hammock and you saying, you know, it felt like I have my daughter back.
Yeah.
Can you remember that like moment even today?
Oh yeah, I can't even hardly think about it without tearing up. I mean, yeah, that was pretty amazing. Just to be sitting with my daughter there when a year before, I mean, I really thought we might have lost her completely, and to be sitting on a hammock with her in a beautiful place, talking about relationships, it was unreal.
Yeah.
So I mean, I immediately broke down when we talked about this because it was with her, because it was just so profound. I mean, it was an amazing thing.
Yeah. You know, so there's what was on the camera. Sorry to get you all choked up there, man.
It doesn't take much. You know that.
It's a beautiful moment. I'll tell you what, man. I think even as a dad of a daughter, it's a beautiful moment. Knowing that there's a whole lot that goes into that, even into those, just that little moment together. And it's just beautiful.
When you're a parent, at some point you lose the ability to parent. And as much as you can see what's going on with your kid and how you can see the road that they're going on and what the end result is going to be, you can't do anything about it. I mean, you can nag them and you can cajole them and try to get them to do it, but you can't parent because they're not listening to you. And really, the only thing you can do at that point is to love them. And sitting on that hammock with her, I just realized that, okay, all I can do is love this girl. Regardless of where she is and what she does or how she goes through life, it's just a matter of loving her, and that's what we've tried to do. That was kind of the beginning point of the whole thing, was right there, that idea, and we've moved forward with that for the last 4 years.
Yeah. Wow. So there's what we saw on the camera, but obviously there was way more that was not on the camera. Is there any memory from that trip that wasn't captured? You know, funny, good, bad, tough, whatever, that stands out to you as like, man, that was a pretty fun moment or challenging moment that happened that no one knew about.
The one was really fun. It was when she caught her first fish, and that first day after we got zeroed, she was kind of down, I think, and Doug was guiding her, and I was watching her fish and take a step downriver and throw the line back up, and when she hooked that first cutthroat, that was a pretty amazing thing, and our eyes met, and I took pictures, and she was pretty excited about it. So that was cool. There was another time when we had a moment together, a quiet time together, where Molly had gone through something pretty traumatic, and it was one of those things where there was nothing I could do other than hold my daughter and tell her that I loved her. I mean, as a father, it's heartbreaking. You see this girl when she's a baby, and when she comes out and you're holding her, you promise, you talk to God, I'm going to defend this girl the rest of her life. And then you come to a point where you can't. You have no power to help her other than just to hold her and let her cry on your shoulder and hold her and tell her it's going to be okay, even though you're not sure it is going to be okay. We were together across from each other at a table, and she just thanked me for doing that and for supporting her and loving her. And it was another moment of tears. Of course, there was a lot of tears on this trip, but that was a pretty special moment. Yeah.
You know, I appreciate that, John. I feel like dads and daughters, it does give a certain green light to emotion that I think guys are probably more bent to than we might admit. We're emotional people. Is there anything you'd like to communicate to dads of daughters as we kind of wrap this little time up?
You don't have to spend quality time with your daughters, but you do have to spend quantity time. They really want their dad with them. They want to be noticed by their dad and loved by their dad and seen by their dad and be excited about what they do. And I think I did a lot of that, but I'm not sure I spent the time I should have with them. With Molly especially. She's being the youngest, and she was a handful from day one. We make the joke that she came out angry. And so we had some challenges with her, and I don't think I was probably as loving with her as I needed to be. I was certainly strict on her, and I regret some of that. I think it's really, really, really important to know that you love their daughters tremendously and that you like your daughter no matter what she does. We're told that, well, I know my dad loved me, but I wasn't really sure that my dad liked me, kind of a thing. And I think we need to make sure that our daughters know that we like them and appreciate them and find great pleasure in them.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that, John. And what about the beauty of the Stehekin? Was that just a special place or what?
I have never been to any place like that.
Yeah.
It was phenomenal. I mean, there's no place on earth like the Stehekin, I don't think. Right from the town all the way to the place we stayed and the river. If we had gone on that trip a week later or a week earlier, this never would have happened. I mean, I remember the last night we were there, it thundered and lightning and the wind blew and it rained and the rivers blew out, and we wouldn't have been able to fish like we did. God's timing on this trip was absolutely perfect.
I forgot that. Yeah, you're right. That last morning when we were just getting ready to travel home, it had stormed all night, and we looked at the river, and it was chocolate milk and a lot higher and cranking. So, you know what? God's providence was good, and even just with each person that was out there at that particular time, it was very good. So, John, thank you to you and to Molly. Thanks for being vulnerable, for your transparency. Your willingness to take a step. It's a big deal, and that's the invitation I think we make to every family, every dad and daughter that's watching this. So appreciate you, man.